Hello,
Welcome,
hello.
welcome, welcome to the Let's Be Clear radio show live here on Creative
Welcome. You
Streams Live.
froze.
Um, hey Nikki,
Connection lost.
connection lost. What in the world?
Your connection was lost.
You don't see me?
I see you now.
Do you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, and it's I don't know what's going on with the sound, but I guess we're gonna have to push through it. But anyway, happy Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, welcome to the Let's Be Clear radio show live on Creative Streams Live app, Twitch, Facebook Live, YouTube. We on everywhere, right?
He everywhere.
So we here.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday in New York City. It's not too
Yo.
warm outside. It's kind of cold.
Oh, it
The
is?
weather is not matching the season, so it's gonna be
Does
one
it
of those
ever?
I'm gonna stay in the house type of days. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going nowhere. But anyway, it's a lot to talk about. We're gonna pick up where we left off last time with what's going on in social media with the whole Diddy thing and stuff like that. But before we go any further, I want to say rest in peace to one of the DJs that I followed for years, and he passed away this week, and that was DJ Mr. C. Rest
Yes,
in
let
peace,
me see
Mr.
this
C.
Saturday.
It was crazy because I had a story to tell. And I just recently seen him. I think it was in November. They did Cold Chillin' Records reunion, a conversation with Cold Chillin' Records, and that happened at the Apollo Theater. And I saw him
Mm.
there, and who would have known that that would have been the last time that I would have seen him? Um, my condolences to his family, to his friends, his fams, his radio family, because they are all going through it, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't and then I can't imagine what they're going through because we lost a good one. He was a good guy, and I haven't
So
heard
young.
anybody. Yeah, it was like 57.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody all week say anything bad about him because they say he was a stand-up guy. He always wanted to help out people, but he didn't want to get the shine for it. Like he
Mm-hmm.
stayed mostly behind the scenes with helping out people and stuff like that. And not too many people. You can't find too many people like that because then you find those people that want to shine, and the reason why they help people is so that they can get it. And I did this for so and so. You never heard him say any of that.
Yeah.
And when he first came back to the airwaves, I was listening to, I was kind of stuck on 94.7 The Block. So I listened to it all the time. And if I listened to it every single day and I sent him a message, he shouted me out every single day. That's what type of
That's what's
person he
up.
was. You know
That's
what I'm
what's up.
saying? And he's gonna be missed because he was on every day on the radio. So anybody that knows him and listen to the radio, they're gonna know that his presence is not gonna be there. But yeah, rest in peace, Mr. C. I remember him from back in the heydays when we used to go to this club in the Bronx called the Zodiac, and that's when he was rolling with Big Daddy Kane, and
Mm-hmm.
used to see him a lot over there. But yeah. So it doesn't, a lot of people like, well, how did he die and all of that? That's not important. How he died or what he died from or whatever. A lot of people, get mixed up with asking questions. You don't question anything. If it's meant for you to know, then you know. But don't ask how he died, why he died, and stuff like that, because the fact of the matter is a family lost one of their loved ones, and the public lost a great DJ. So
Mm-hmm.
rest in peace again to Mr. C. And then we got to go on to another rest in peace to OJ. OJ Simpson. And a lot of people was like, they had mixed feelings about it. But the one thing you don't say when someone passed away, which was her name, his name, Bruce
His
Jenner,
name, yeah, Bruce Jenner,
said,
Caitlyn, whatever his name is.
no, Bruce Jenner, because he's
Uh-huh.
still a man. You was born a man. Good riddance.
Yeah.
How does that make, somebody's family feel like that? Regardless of whatever your reservations, anybody's reservations that they had with the man, whether he did it or he didn't do it or whatever, but he was one of our people too. When he was on top of the world, everybody bigged him up. They wanted him in movies and commercials and this, that, and the third. But soon as he get acute, and I'm gonna get to that later. Um, just as soon as he fall, short of the fame that Hollywood expects you to be, you know what I'm saying? Because they've been taking down our black men for the longest. And like I said, whether you think he did it or not, that's not for us to judge. If he did it, then he's going to meet his maker. If he didn't do it, then you guys should be ashamed of yourself for saying stuff like good riddance and people are glad he's gone because they believe he did it. You know, why? Why?
I'm gonna leave
I
that.
don't. So you said you're gonna leave it alone?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, so you believe he did it too?
No, I don't know what he did. There's people
I
who
mean,
did a lot worse,
absolutely that, and that is true. And they
and they
and not
still
only
praise them.
and they
Yeah.
still doing it. They still doing bad. You know. So I've seen a lot of people go online and say it's not for them to judge. You know. So why pass judgment on somebody, especially if you wasn't there to see him do it? And then I was looking at some old videos, because I remember what I was doing. I was sitting in, I think I was on lunch. Me and somebody was on lunch together, and we was sitting in the car, and we was actually listening to the verdict because it came out that the jury was coming back with their verdict or whatever. And it was like everybody was quiet. Everywhere you go, it was quiet. It was a real eerie feeling outside. And when they said that, when the jury came back and found that he was not guilty, everybody went into a roar. Like you can hear horns blowing, you like everybody was happy for him.
Mhm.
And then I seen, like, I was watching, I think it was Oprah had a live watch on one of her shows when she did her show, and the audience was divided because it seemed like, and it's like they said, they kind of made it into a racial thing because it was the black people up against the white people. And there was some white people and there was some black people that thought he was guilty. And
Mhm.
you should have seen, like, the face of people. Like, people were mad.
It's disgusted.
They
Yeah.
was mad, they was disgusted, they was enraged. They could not believe that they said the jury was crazy for finding him not guilty. So I mean, there was evidence that proved, I guess the prosecution didn't prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt that he was guilty. So that's what happened. So then I seen another interview they had with one of the, excuse my flare from my glasses. One of the jurors was saying the reason why they found him guilty,
Not
because,
guilty.
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. The reason why they found him not guilty is because the 3 years prior to that, what happened with Rodney King. And when they found those cops not guilty, they tore up LA. So they were saying that that's the reason why, because they didn't want
Right.
another riot like they had when they did Rodney King. So they let him pass. I said, okay, so if that's true, then, I mean, I'm not saying that that's justice, because I'm a true believer that if you do the crime, you do the time. And if you did something, if he did what they said he did, then he would have got caught. They would have found him guilty. And I don't think that it should have
If
been
he,
based on.
if he did what he did and they found him not guilty, he's gonna reap what he sowed in another way.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So it doesn't. He'll get his punishment. Believe me. But we just won't be the one to punish him
Yeah.
if
But
he
then you
did.
see, and then what happened is after he was not guilty, he turned around and committed a crime and was in jail, and he rehabilitated himself and he came out and he did what he had to do. But who are we to judge? We are nobody to judge, and that's why, sometimes you just got to be careful what you say and do, because like you said, whatever comes your way is going to come your way because of the things that you do. Like, you
Yep.
can't promote evil and don't expect evil not to come your
So
way.
yeah.
And then you have
Mhm.
some people that they don't believe that there's a such thing as karma because it didn't happen to them. But what about your loved ones?
Your
Something can
children.
happen to your loved ones where, that karma might not come to you, but it'll come to them. So when you promote evil and you're constantly doing things for wickedness or to hurt somebody or to take away from somebody or whatever, it's going to come back to you.
Yep.
So
Like God, what's his name? He played in I forgot, but he said when you keep knocking on the devil's door, eventually the devil will answer. I think it's Terrence Howard is his name.
probably was. Did you see him with
Said
that
that.
turtle wig on?
Yeah, he claimed he doing a character, right? He's a character.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing, but it was just not. It was
No, it
not
wasn't.
giving anything. I was. It was giving a freak off at Diddy's house to me.
Yeah, he was getting ready for the party.
He was
Take
getting
that,
ready
take
for a party at
that.
Diddy's house. But
Dude,
yeah. Rest
speaking
in peace.
of celebrities, did you see the cover of Essence with Usher?
Lord, I seen a video of Usher inside the tub. I was like, wait a minute, Usher, I'm gonna need you to slow down.
He said,
Huh? I don't
he
know.
said,
He
I need
was
him to
just
slow down.
he need to slow down because you making people look at you the double take. I mean, I like Usher. Um,
Hmm.
I like him as an artist. I do like him. Whatever happened in his past, happened in his past. If he got caught up in those freak offs with Diddy and them, that that's something that eventually will come out. That's number one. And number two, I think he's a great entertainer. Like,
Yeah,
he's a really good entertainer. And the one person that I do really, really, really like, I don't know if I like him more than Usher, but I think I do, is Chris Brown. And they just will not give him. They won't give him a break because they
no break.
still, they still doing like what I don't understand is like whatever he did, and I'm not saying he didn't do anything because apparently he did something, whether it was provoked, whether she hit him first, whatever happened, he did something. But how long are we going to penalize him for that? Because he makes great music. He's a very, very, very good entertainer too. So why he cannot get the awards that he deserves, and why they don't invite him to the award shows and stuff like that. But you giving a man that
Because he
you
black.
know Diddy did it, but y'all giving him the Entertainer of the Year award and all of this stuff. But that's a story by itself. But yeah, it's like it's crazy. But Chris Brown is still out there doing his thing. He's selling out concerts. He's still out there. But I just think that with all the music that he's been making, like it's almost like that he's not even nominated for an award. They
Nope.
don't even put him in the category of being nominated for award, but you put somebody in there that don't make no sense when they're singing.
Yeah. Speaking of not being able to sing, you saw J Lo's documentary.
No, but I never knew. I never thought she. I'm not a J Lo fan. I never
Yeah, I
was.
ain't either.
I did like the movie enough, and I like
Mhm.
Mother,
I didn't see Mother.
and I like Selena. She did an excellent
Yeah,
job
good
with
job
Selena.
with Selena.
But I was not really a fan. I never been a fan of her music. I can't even sing one song. It's like because well, she was on Ja Rule's song. That was Ja Rule's song that she was on, right? I'm Real.
I think so.
So I
I don't
really, and then
know.
she was on a song with LL Cool J, but it wasn't her song. So I
Oh,
can't
boy,
even tell you.
and
I can't
it
tell
wasn't
you.
her singing. It was probably Ashanti and some other person.
Well, they did say that song with Ja Rule. I think it was Ashanti,
Uh-huh.
but she was in the video. Yeah, I never was a fan of. I never was a J Lo fan. I don't care if she's from the Bronx. I don't care if she was right up the street from where I live at. I
Well,
still wasn't
Bronx
a
is
fan.
not claiming her. They not claiming her at
Yeah,
all.
because she
They said
doesn't.
she wasn't really from the Bronx. She
Yeah,
wasn't
where was
really
she
a
from?
street kid. She really wasn't. She tried to make it seem like she was a hard street kid in the Bronx. They said she went to private school or some shit like that, or
And she
Catholic
probably
school.
did.
Yeah, so it wasn't that her family was well to do. She wasn't from the streets. So, but they
So
said the
she's not really Jenny from
documentary
the
she
block.
had put out, she put out a documentary, and I think she's coming out with an album along with a video, like a movie type of thing
Mhm.
about herself. And I was watching somebody reviewing it. They said it's so narcissistic. That's all about her. It's
Yeah,
all about her.
she is. She puts me in the mind of somebody that's very, very, very conceited. Like it's all
She's
about
not a
her.
good
This,
person.
you
And
know,
people
and I
wrong
heard
from
that
that.
she wasn't. People were saying that she wasn't a good person, and I knew she was conceited when she took out what is that? She took out $1 million insurance policy on her butt, and her butt wasn't even all of that. It wasn't even all that, but
So what did she get shot in the ass? Did she give some money or something?
if something happens to her butt or whatever, I guess if it's sag, I don't know, but I know she had $1 million life insurance policy out on her booty.
But
Now,
did Tina Turner or
if that's a
Beyonce have that
lie,
on their
then I
name?
got that from the social media or internet, whatever. I'm sorry.
Did Tina Turner or Beyonce do that with their legs?
Tina Turner had it with her legs. I know that's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because Tina Turner was a dancer. She danced
Yeah,
her ass off.
they had good, nice looking legs. So,
Yeah, she had a hell of a pair until the day she die. Her
mm-hmm.
legs were still intact. She
Yeah.
has some strong legs.
Shout out
Rest
to
in peace.
everybody who is tuned in right now. Shout out to CTV family, Shaw J, CEO Sean Quest, Lil Unique, and the bot.
Hello, family.
You see
How
anybody
y'all
out
do?
there?
Um, no, I'm on restream, so I don't see anybody
Don't
here.
see anybody? Okay.
No.
I thought you was on the. Well, shout out
On
to y'all too. Facebook, Twitch, whoever
yeah, I'm
else
on
is looking,
Facebook. I don't know
YouTube.
who's here. Ain't nobody here.
Ain't they
Ain't
sleep?
nobody paying attention to me. Ain't nobody sleeping. It's 12 o'clock. Y'all supposed to be up doing laundry and stuff like I did already. I already did laundry, seasoned dinner for today and
What you
tomorrow.
making?
Tomorrow I'm making some cabbage, some fried cabbage with some
Uh-huh.
jasmine rice and some smothered fried chicken and some curry goat.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. And today I think it's I had a piece of steak in there, so I seasoned that up. I'm gonna put that in the air fryer later on after I finish mopping my floors and make some French fries probably.
Ooh,
Nothing
that's
big
good.
today.
Steak and fries.
Steak and fries, girl, with some sauteed onions. I think I
Ooh,
have some mushrooms in there too. But yeah, so yeah, it's just it's like we're living in some times now that I never question because I believe in God and I believe that He has a purpose for everything and everybody. So I never question, a lot of people is like, why? But You can't question why. You trust the process and you try to live. I mean, I don't know if the sole purpose is for us to, go to church and visit these churches. I'm not going to say that we shouldn't go. I'm just going to say that whenever you feel the need to fellowship, that you should probably, go and fellowship with people. But I do believe that God is in your heart and in your
God is
spirit.
us, in us. Yeah.
And with what we are going through today, like what we seeing out on the streets, what we seeing on the news, it's really really difficult that if you are not a sane person not to go crazy. You have to have, and I believe for all of us, we have to have some type of God in us for us not to go crazy with all that's going on in this world. One week we have an earthquake, the next week we have a solar eclipse,
Tornadoes. Yeah.
and there's tornadoes and flooding and hard rain, and you know a lot of people like why don't question, just trust the process.
And there's
That's what
wars going on, civil wars going on around the world, and they
absolutely
go
is.
through this every day. So imagine what they're going through. They go through this every day.
And the sad thing about it is that I think, you know what, if you want, like years ago we had gang members. Remember the gangs? I don't know if you remember. They
Decepticons and stuff.
the Secticon. What the hell is
What
that?
you talking about? You don't remember the gangs
I'm,
back in the day?
well, where the era that I came from,
I
well, they
forgot.
probably was. I forgot about these Crips and Bloods and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But see, even as far as they're concerned, some of them have made a truce where they're working together. You know, I don't know if they're doing that here, but I know they do that out in California. But I'm talking about, there were games back in the days called the Peacemakers and the Black Spades. That was a
Mm.
rival game back in the 70s. And they used to fight each other. Was it right? It wasn't right and wrong, but they didn't kill. I don't think they killed innocent people. Like, they was at war, and if you got caught in a crossfire, then that's something different. You know what I'm saying? But they wasn't like, when they were at war with each other, they was at war with each other. And I'm saying that to say, um if these two countries, let's get all the military for these countries, you have innocent people that are fighting because they're fighting for their rights. You have innocent people that are dying. You have people that are out there starving. You can't even get the food to them because they shooting down the planes and blowing up stuff that's delivering food. Like, why are the innocent people, my question is, why are the innocent people suffering with these wars? It's sad, the number of kids, the number of mothers that seeing their kids die. And there was this one, I think there was one little boy, I think he was from Palestine or Palestinian or whatever he is. But he was crying because I think his whole family died and he was just the only one left, and they had to send him to some relatives or something. Like, he was crying for his father. Like, that's hard. That's really hard. Like, I mean, sometimes to me, death is harder when someone kills someone than with, I mean, death is hard, period. So let me not say that. Let me not get beat up for that. Any death is hard. But if someone, to me, passes from
Because
an
they're
illness,
taken away abruptly.
yeah, if they die from an illness that we know about, or they die of natural causes or something like that, to me it's harder to have somebody kill somebody you love than to have them, because you'll never know what their life could have been like. And if they killing kids, how do we know those kids wouldn't have grew up to make a difference in their countries, to try to bring those countries together, to cease all the fire and the fighting and all of that stuff? You don't even give these kids a chance to survive. That's what I think is the hardest part, to watch someone, some kid die because of two countries that are fighting for
over
territory.
ego and
And that
money.
part. Yeah.
Hmm. When
Because the
when
last time I checked, last
it
time I
should be the
checked,
government officials. They should be the ones that go to war and their families. I bet if that was to turn the tables where they went to fight,
there
it wouldn't
wouldn't
be
be
a war.
wars, because nobody's going to put their family on the front line.
Nope.
They're not going to do that. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But they'll kill somebody else's family
Yep.
that's trying to protect, or trying to go out there just to get simple things like water. Like
But
they
first
can't
of all,
even
they
go
don't
get
see
water.
us as people anyway. They don't see us as people. We just pawns. We
Yeah.
just we just being used. We are not even we're owned by them.
Yeah.
When actually they supposed to be serving us. The government's supposed to be serving us, but they make it seem like we're serving them. And that's why they don't want us to be unified. Because once we're unified and realize that we're the ones that they need, that they work for us, if we put our foot down, they wouldn't
Yeah.
know what to do. But we're
But
so disorganized and so
and
separated. That's
divided.
how they want it. That's how they
Yeah,
want it.
they have other cultures that, stick together, and I what I think is, it's our black and brown people that don't stand up for each other. You know what I'm saying? When you see somebody doing wrong, like, yo, if that's your people, like, stop them. Like, listen, I mean, especially if you know them. Like, if you know that there's some wicked stuff going on in somebody's life, and you're a part of their life, then check them on that. You know what I'm saying? Because with all of these new allegations coming out about Diddy, and now Jay-Z's involved, and this one is involved, and it's a lot. Like, what they're going to get, because I don't know how true it is, but what's that lady name, that white news, she's a Nancy, what is her name, Nancy, I know she's always on TV. I can't think of her last name, but her name is Nancy somebody. And from her mouth to my ears, she said that they had found some videotapes in Diddy's house
Mm,
that put people in, like,
compromising.
compromising, and that there was guns found there and stuff like that. So they were tracing the guns back to make sure that all the guns were legal guns, and they didn't have no bodies on it and stuff like that. But and then and I also heard her say that this is bigger than Diddy. It's bigger.
Hmm.
They want the people that's,
Nancy Grace.
yes, that's her name, Nancy Grace.
Oh, thank you, little unique.
Oh, she on point. She stay on point when I'm not on point. But yeah, Nancy Grace. I listened to her interview that she had, and she was saying all of these things, and I was like, and then she was also saying, like I was saying, that it's bigger than him. Like, he's not even the biggest fish that they're trying to catch.
He's the
There's
pawn.
other
Yeah,
people,
he's the one that being
and they
sacrificed or
suspect.
whatever.
And here's what's gonna happen. I mean, I don't know for sure that it's gonna happen. This is my theory, that a lot of people are gonna come out. There's gonna be more people coming out and corroborating with the government, and saying how Diddy did do something to them, and it's gonna be more videos. It's gonna be more of that. However, what's gonna make him crack, I believe, is that his sons are going to be facing charges. And in order for him to protect, is only going to go two ways. Is either he going to let them fry, or he's going to protect them by giving the government what they need. That's just my opinion. It's gonna go. It's gonna go either way, and I don't think that he's gonna let, because I know they said, I don't know how true it is, but I'm just going by news or whatever, and they said one of his sons is really facing some heavy charges.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are facing charges, but one of them is facing some heavy charges, and I think it's the older one, because there was this guy, what's his name, Little Rod, when
Mm-hmm.
they were talking about something about when they were in the studio. Christian, not, yeah, Christian is his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Christian. He came to the studio one time with one of his friends, and I don't think Diddy liked the person. And Diddy and Christian got into some kind of altercation or whatever, and then they went in the bathroom, and the young boy was in the bathroom too, and apparently the guy got shot. The friend got shot, and they covered that up. They don't know, because the door was closed. They don't know who shot the kid because it was behind closed doors. And what they did was they hurried up and took this young guy out of the studio to make it seem like he got shot on the outside, not on the inside. So it's a lot. It's a lot behind all of this, and I really think. But you know what? As sad as this might sound, I would rather him give up the people that they want than to let your kids go down for some shit that you started. Because even if they did some of the things that people are saying that they did, who they learned from, they got it from him. Because that all of that essaying and doing things that they did to all of these different women on yachts and in houses and parties and all of that stuff, who they learned that from? Being aggressive towards women and forcing women to perform sex acts on them. They had to get it from their father, because their father is the one that's being accused of a lot of that stuff. So where did they learn that from? Because when you have children, they have learned behavior. That's the behavior that they learned. They learned that from somewhere, right or
True.
wrong.
True.
Yeah, so
But,
I don't know.
but
It just
hopefully
seems
the
like,
higher ups that started this whole thing. Because Hollywood is Hollywood. It's just a lot of things going on. He's not the only one. He's not going to be the
no,
last one. But
and
there's Clive
somebody had to
Davis,
turn
there's
him out.
Quincy Jones, there's Weinstein. There's so many people that's on the top executives. Lior from Def Jam, all of them. Um, they the ones that need to come down. The heads, the companies, them. Because look at Nickelodeon, Disney World, all this shit. It's just a lot of evil when it
and
comes
and
to the entertainment and sports industry.
and it's like, and it's crazy because they're doing this to kids that don't even have a chance. What they did to Tevin Campbell, I don't know what he did to Tevin Campbell, but it is what it is. He still can sing, he's still an entertainer. But like, and once again, like, we always talk about the same thing when we talk about stuff like this, is that where were these parents when these kids, like you can't just throw your kids to the wolves, to people you don't know. Okay, so what? He was a entertainer, he's a music mogul, and you want your kid to be on top of the game, or you want your kid to make it in the entertainment business, so you push your kids off on these people, and these people are destroying our kids for $1.
They're pimping their kids out.
Let me tell you
But
something,
ain't no way you could blame one person, but everybody is involved. The staff, the parents, everybody is involved because you knew you put them in this situation, especially when it comes to kids. You put them in a situation, and because you was getting paid, you didn't want to say anything. Now that everybody's saying something, now you want to say, yeah, yeah, yeah. Why you ain't say nothing then? You know what I'm saying? So everybody who knew and let it happen and didn't say anything, they need to be
Everybody,
accounted
I
for.
think and I believe that everybody needs to go down. Like,
Yeah,
but
everybody.
like the what's his name said, what's his name, Cassidy, the rapper. He says that
Um,
if we are so into cancel culture canceling, then
mhm.
I need to turn the radios off,
Exactly. You
because
do. And the TVs
everybody
and the
that you
movies
listening to
done some
is
evil
involved
shit.
with something.
All of
You
them.
know what I'm saying? And
And they
a lot
said
of
the
people,
ones that are most successful did the most. That's how
yeah,
they get this success. I believe this shit. I believe that they sold their souls or did things that, you know, that's not
and it
normal
was
before they get their fame.
another person that said, how they get turned out is because they when they're coming up and they famous and they rich and they got money, that they can have any woman in the world. So now, what else? Like, you had all the women in the world. What else do you need?
It's
Now
not
what
just
else you
men,
want to
it's
try?
women out there too
Yeah,
that's doing
women.
some
Yeah,
evil shit.
absolutely. Because
Yeah.
there's some names of names, but you know
Mm-hmm.
what? And this is why I respect the people like Janelle Monáe that's out. You know what I'm saying? That that she's gay, opposed to the ones that are behind closed doors, that that are doing things behind closed doors to little girls or little boys or whatever. You know what I'm saying? At least like, if being gay is your lifestyle, or if you like little boys, or if you like little, I mean, you shouldn't like little boys if you're a grown man, and you shouldn't like little girls if you're a grown man, and vice versa. But with the culture that we're living in, with so much is so acceptable, why not be your authentic self? If that's who you want to be your authentic self.
I don't
Why
think
you
if it,
hiding behind closed doors? Why you doing? Because, okay, before they were saying that they hid behind these closed doors because the entertainment world wouldn't accept them. They weren't accepted then, but they are now. But then there was your Liberace's, and there was your Little Richards and stuff like that. They were still out there. So what happened to them? They were still kind of successful. Liberace was really successful. Little Richard was successful too. So why, if like, what was wrong? What is wrong with our culture that they feel like if they came out and and be themselves, that they're not going to be accepted?
well, I think when it comes to the entertainment industry, is and the things that's going on, I think it's not about their sexuality, what they choose to be. I think it's about control, and I think it is about I think it's more about control than anything. And sacrifices and stuff like that. Making somebody, because they're drugging people, allegedly they're drugging people, they're put people in bad positions, and turn around later and say, well, I have this on you, so what you gonna do? You gonna have to sign this, so what you gonna do? And it's a messed up world out here where this is how they want to control people. um I don't really think it's about being gay or straight. It's just about control, and it's sad. As far as our culture, black people, um it's just our mindset. I think how we how we embarrass one another because of what we want to be, and it's hard for black men, to be honest with you. It's hard for black men to come out and be open with their sexuality like that, if that's what they like, because it's still gonna be ridiculed in some kind of way. It's still in our brain that it's bad, and you shouldn't do this and you should be that. You're supposed to be the man of the house, so what are you doing? So
But my thing is this: you can still be yourself and still be the man of the house. What
yeah,
makes it okay for other races to do it and not us?
because
I
it's a
mean,
mental thing.
I totally believe that it's against God's will for us to be that way. So That's just my personal opinion. It has nothing to do with anybody else. So I'm not in a position to judge anyone. But my thing is this: why are we doing like I need? Well, we'll never get the answers that we're looking for. But if you're a grown man and you like grown men, then that's your business. You should be with them, but not with a grown man turning out little boys because he got turned out. Like what are we doing? Like what are we teaching our kids? That and that's even so much as in school now they have this rainbow day at school and stuff like that. And I think that's horrible. You should, if a parent wants their kid to learn about stuff like that, then you ask them. You don't just throw stuff on somebody's kids that you don't like. Maybe I don't want my child to know about the different colors of the rainbow and LGBTQ2 plus dot com. Maybe I don't want my child to know about all of that. Maybe my religious beliefs is against all of that, and you have some parents that are not against it, and you have some parents that are against it. But who are you to tell us that we're not going to teach our kids about Black history or the real American history, but we'll teach them about being gay and having sex with other men and you're a man, or being lesbian or whatever. We can teach that in school, but we can't teach them Black history.
Well, all of that is an agenda anyway. All of that is a setup. They gonna teach what they want us to know, what they want to instill in us. That's why it's good to teach your own. Sometimes it's good to
Yeah.
teach your own.
I
But
do believe in homeschooling too.
yeah, because that's part of the government. This is where schools is set up to make you become what they want you to become. It's not set up for educational reasons. Let's be real. It's set up so we could be working class. So whatever they way they want us to live, they're teaching us. They're prepping us to be that. So that's why they want to take. That's why I was never into history and social studies and stuff like that, because they're telling us their history. They're telling us what they want
They
us to
they're
know.
not
We don't
telling
know if
us
that's true.
what
Yeah,
happened,
we
what
don't know
really
if that's
happened.
true. So you gotta learn stuff on your own.
Absolutely. That's why I even though I don't I don't do it as much as I should, but I believe in reading, you know. Read about
I
your
do too.
own people, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to divide a nation, it's just to get our people to know
Their
about,
history about themselves.
absolutely. Because I remember the first time I seen Roots, I was devastated.
Mm-hmm.
I was devastated and I seen it as a kid and I was like, why are they doing that
To us, yeah.
to us, and then you see, the ones that are in the house and what they're doing in the house and how they're being treated because they were raped and like, why are they doing this to us? And we have been we have been divided as a nation for so long that there's not like, how do you pick up from that? You can't tell me that like all of those racist people who have generation and generations of ancestors and whoever the comings and the goings, that they're not still have racism in their body. You
Well,
understand what I'm saying?
I do believe the past is brought down to us. You know what I mean? Whatever PTSD we have from slavery, I do believe that it's still instilled in us. That's why we behave the way that we behave. So I believe the same thing with racism. It's all of this is taught. All of this is habits. Because it was done over and over and over again. So it is embedded in us, I believe, in our DNA, where it is brought down to generation. So even if you're not a straight up racist, there is some type of racism, you know what I mean, in you, some type
Yeah.
of But that's how, like I said, that's how they want it. They want us all to be divided.
Yeah,
They
pretty
want the
much.
racism. They want the violence. They want that because, like I said, if we as civilians were to be united, this government could fall, and they don't want that. They're supposed to work for us. Why are we paying for water? Why are we paying for air? Why are we paying for food? When God gave it to us. God gave it all to
Absolutely.
us. So why are we paying for this? That I don't
So
understand. If it don't make sense to me, I don't. It just don't. I don't. It does. It doesn't make sense.
yeah, I totally agree with that because I remember talking to somebody and they was talking about the like we go to work, right?
Uh huh.
And our our paycheck is a cycle. It goes
Mhm.
around and around and around and around. Like you go to work, you get money, you pay taxes off that money, right? And the money that we get is taxed every time it's spent.
Mhm.
So you get paid, you pay taxes, right? You pay rent, the person that owns the place, if you don't own it yourself, because even if you own your own property, you still got to pay taxes on that, right? For
Mhm.
owning your own property. And if you live in certain areas, you have to pay for your hot water. You don't have to pay for your cold water, but you got to pay for your hot. It all depends if you don't have those HMOs or whatever. So when you pay your rent, you paying it to the landlord who has to pay taxes on that, right? When you go to the grocery store to buy food, you have to pay taxes on that. When you pay your utility bills and all of that stuff, you pay taxes on that. When you just go out to dinner to have a meal at McDonald's, if you want McDonald's, you paying taxes on that. So what are we working for? Because
Yeah.
right now we can't survive. But I don't even know, to be I was talking to Lady Grace the other day and I was like, I was watching the news and I think Wiz sent me a clipping about how much an average person in New York City needs to make in order to make it through. And with the numbers they put up, I'm like, well then how in the hell am I surviving? Because I'm surviving by the hair of my chinny chin, and I don't have no hair on my chin. So I'm not surviving because they said one person in New York City, in order to survive and live a decent life, you have to make over $135,000 a year.
I believe it.
A family of two or more is 200 and something $1,000 a year. So where's my money at? Because I damn sure not getting it. It seems like as soon as I get paid, by the time you finish, like you can't even afford really entertainment. And remember, you used to be able to afford entertainment. So now sometimes you gotta force yourself to do like, okay, what am I not gonna do so I can go out to a nice dinner? Or what am I not gonna do so I can go on vacation? What am I not gonna do so I can do X, Y, and Z? Where before, and I think over the last, I would say the last 10 years in New York City, everything has went so high that you really can't afford to. You can't afford to do anything, let alone save money. And I think that's another thing in in the major cities that we live in is designed for us to live in poverty.
Mhm.
It's designed. And I do believe it's all a plan because
It is.
what they're doing to New York City is sad. And yeah, of course it's better probably, some other places other than New York, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just a little worse here. It's the same thing. And I think anywhere they have black and brown people are the states and the cities that they do not want us to achieve anything. Because how you tell me that in order for me to survive, I have to make over $135,000 a year, and you're not even giving me half of that. You know what I'm saying? So back then, what they called middle class no longer exists. It's
Mm-hmm. No
either
middle.
your low class or your high class. There's
Mm-hmm.
no middle class. There's no middle because you have people that live in this city that have a husband, a wife, and a husband. They're living together and they bringing home two salaries and they can't afford to buy food.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, like they say, you gotta watch who you vote for. It's not just the president. It's not just the I think all politicians are crooked. They're only
Mm-hmm.
gonna give us enough to get our vote, and once they get our vote, they're gonna give us their ass to kiss, like
They
the
got
governors and the mayors of all the inner cities.
none of them is for us. Once we realize that none of them in office is for us, is for the dollar or whatever's gonna be the dollar this year. I don't know. But they're not for us.
It's
And when we
crazy.
realize that we're not living, they make it seem like we are living, that we're making a living. We're not making a living. We don't own shit. Even if
Nothing.
you have your own house, we don't own that. You know what I'm saying? Why once we realize that we have to regain making things on our own, knowing how to garden, to grow our own food and make our own. Once we go back to where it was at the beginning of time, then we don't need the government. We don't need them. They make it seem like they put it in our heads that we need them. We don't need them. I don't understand why are we paying for rent. Why am I
But
paying
see,
for rent?
right,
This earth is put
and
here for
I'm
me
gonna
to live in freely.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Like, you said, going back to like planting our own food, raising our own cattle, uh doing making our own clothes and stuff like that. You don't think people would feel like in their mindset that they're going back into slavery days, where they had to do that, where there was no choice, they had to milk cows and stuff like that?
I'm not talking about slavery. I'm talking
No, no,
about
no. I
farmers
know
and
that.
stuff like that.
I know what you're saying, but
Uh-huh.
because our people are so shallow,
Oh, well,
they'll
that's
be the
yeah.
first ones to say, "I'm not doing that. I ain't no slave. That's what they did in slavery days," but not seeing the bigger picture.
And that's the hard part because in order for you to get, we're talking about black people right now. In order for get us to the place that we need to be, is we have to change the mentality, and that's going to be hard because you got to change thousands and thousands of years of thinking and abuse and experiences that we went through as ancestors. People don't believe that we still struggle for what our ancestors went through. We still
Yeah,
struggle from that. We
because they
still
still
go through
see us
that.
as that.
Yeah. And slavery still exists. I don't know if anybody believes that. Slavery still exists, but just in a different form. If you
Yeah,
don't believe going to work is a slavery, then I don't know. Just because you get a check don't mean shit. You know what I'm
but
saying?
and it's like I said, that's not even your money
It's not ours. Nothing
because
is
because by
ours.
the
They
time
make it
you
feel
get
like
it,
it's
it's
ours. Yeah.
gone.
They make you think that. One thing I give white people is they good with fucking with people's minds. That's how they
Yeah,
control a lot of us. They
yeah.
because they know how to fuck with your mind. They good with psychology and all that shit. Once we get back our mindset, once we get that back, that's it. And they don't want that. That's why they want us to keep thinking, oh, you need to work. Oh, you need to have a job. You need to go to school. You need to graduate from college. And what I
All
don't
of that
understand
for you
about
to
this
work
is
at Starbucks.
before all this came about, before schools and all that, what did we do? You know what I'm saying? How did we survive? We wasn't paying for rent back then. We was living it. We made up our own little huts. Some of us was nomads. We traveled different parts of the continents of the world, and we lived wherever we stood. We lived, and we, you know what I'm saying. We helped each other out. Medicine, pharmaceutical company is all about money. Did we need medicine back then for the pharmacy? No, we had herbs, we had the land, we had the earth. If we
They
could go
use
back to that.
they use stale food as penicillin, like bad food and stuff like that. Like that's what they made their medicine with.
which
But
we could still use today if we fucking taught ourselves the real knowledge that we're supposed to learn. But instead, we go by what people tell us. What somebody tell you is not always the truth. What Google tells you is not always the truth. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You gotta find your truth. And that's the part. And what's crazy is we talk about racism. White people don't even know that they part of it too. That they being fucked over too. You know what I'm saying? They think, oh, I'm white, so I'm better than you. Oh, I'm black, so better. No, it ain't got nothing to do with black and white. Cause we all in the same shit. And once you realize that, once people realize that it's not about color, it's about human race, and we need to be unified and stick together. And that's what the government don't want. They don't want that.
you sound
That's
like the
why they
mad
want
rapper right
division.
now.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good because I mean, everything that you're saying is 100% true. And I wish, I can't speak for other people or other races or whatever, but I can, speak for minds. We need to get it together. We
We
are
do.
not together at all because it's like being in a thing full of crabs and you just trying to pull each other down. It's like we always trying to pull each other down because no, whatever happened to good job when you did something good job. Oh, everybody don't compliment, like they don't give compliments because if you might, like, you see people with, and I'll be wondering, and I'm not a fashionista. I buy clothes and I don't spend a lot of money on it, but I like to put them together so it can look nice. So if you see that I have on a jacket and it's matching my sneakers to the T, I paid for that. I worked for that. I paid for that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying that's nice, you're gonna look me up and down and roll your
Yeah.
eyes at me.
It try to rob you to
You my
get it.
sister.
It try to rob you to get it.
Absolutely.
That's why I said it
Absolutely.
all stems down to the mindset of the individual and the
Absolutely.
collective. Because once we break that down, we could be unstoppable. Hey, Michelle T, I see you, girl. We be unstoppable. And that's why they want us divided. That's why they want us to hate the cops. That's why they want the cops to fight us back. And everything is a setup. Once you see that everything is a setup, when you really read and look into things and see like I'll be watching things or reading things about researching and stuff, like where they have the mice and try to fix the testing. Science. I'm sorry, scientific testing with mice and stuff like that. And they were saying how the projects is something that was set up because they had one mice who were in a good situation. They had their own food and everything, and they was good. They put the other mice where they was living on top of each other and they had bad food and bad environment and all that stuff, and they started trying to kill each other. They started robbing each other. They started being homosexual. They started doing a whole bunch of bad stuff. But the other people, they was good. The other mice was good. So what they did was they switched it. And one of the good mice that was okay started acting like the other side because of
Mm,
the environment. It's not about the people. It's not about us. It's not about all of that. It's about your environment. You get out of your environment, you change your environment, you could change who you are. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. We allow so much to happen to us that we don't fight back and try to change our environment and our situations because we believe that we're supposed to stay in it. No, we don't have to stay in this environment. But
yeah.
what if you don't know better, you can't do better. We can't do better. It's crazy how they set us up from the gate. They set us up from the gate and we allowed it, and now we don't know how to get out of it.
Hmm.
We need somebody out there. That's why I look up to like Malcolm X and all that. We need somebody like that to pull us together. We
Yeah.
need somebody, but whenever somebody like that comes out, what happens? They get assassinated. They get
Yeah,
discredited. And then now we want to judge. So it's like,
I don't I don't know about well, Dr. Umar, he
mm-hmm.
he's 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 for the people.
Yeah, he
I
is.
I get I just think that he goes a little this is just a tad bit too hard
Why?
because
In what way does he go too
I
hard?
because I here's my thing, right? It's okay for us to get our people together. But in order to, because remember, Malcolm X thought all white people were devils, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until he went on that voyage to Mecca. And he
Mm-hmm.
seen people with light skin and blue eyes and people like him, but they were still Muslim
The
like him.
Muslim.
So
Mm-hmm.
I get him trying to get our people first together, but don't like he goes real hard on the white people because he don't want black, like a black man should never be with a white person and a white person should never be with a black person, and like he goes real hard. I'm not saying that that's not right. I think what he should promote more of education or educating our people as to why, instead of saying, calling them snow bunnies and snowflakes and this and that and the third. Leave them alone. Let's educate our people first on how to build.
Mm-hmm.
And once we learn how to build, then we'll have the resources that we need to build a better community for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just, I
I
don't
get
know.
what you're
I
saying.
agree. I agree with a lot of the things that he's saying,
Mm-hmm. I get what
but
you're saying. You say he could still educate and unite us without putting down somebody else. He
and
could
not
take. He could.
just
He could
somebody
eliminate
else,
that.
but us too, because he offend people. Because you can't help who you like or who you love, just because you're with a white person. Does like, and I'm gonna say it again. Not all white people are devils. A lot of them are. Yes, they are, and it's okay for him to say our people need to stick together. We need to be together, but you can't downgrade a man's wife or girlfriend because she's white. That's who he fell in love with. Education is more needed than the bashing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he do a lot of bashing.
Mm-hmm. He could eliminate that, but still teach us. Okay.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're watching, because the same people that are watching him, feel that way are the same people that are watching him. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful. I mean, say what you mean what you say, but do it a different way. Like, if you want all of our people to unite, let's unite, like, find a way to unite them. Because if people are listening to you say all of these things about, white people this, white people that, and to me it's like promoting hate against them. We don't need to hate anybody for us to get together.
Lil Unique said there's a few bad apples in every race, including ours. Ours. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, like I said, I like some of the things that he say, but I just think that some things should just be left alone. We don't have to go through all of that to unite our people. Let's promote more unity than hate.
Um, I get what you say. I think, like you said, he should change his vernacular,
It's
what how
deliberate.
he's saying things. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I get what he's saying, that that the mixed breeding and stuff like that will diminish our, you know, blackness. But I get what you're saying. But saying snow bunnies and all this stuff, it might make a person say, you know what, I don't like white people at all. You know what I mean, or something like
And
that.
not
Yeah,
just
I get
that,
what
but
you're saying.
it might reverse and like, you know what, fuck them black, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and then that starts another argument. So let's just education. It's like, now he said things like, our celebrities or our Hollywooders or whatever they want to call them, why we don't have more black banks to help black. Like, that's a start. You know what I'm saying? That's a
Black
start
Wall
to
Street.
help
We
our
need to
people.
rebuild Black Wall Street. But
Yeah,
every time we try to build a Black Wall Street, they burn it down. They break it down.
yeah,
So
but here's the thing. You have your people like, okay, let's say Jennifer Lopez and Beyonce and Oprah Winfrey. Like
they got the
they
resources.
they have the resources to build these things, to make those things happen, and make things more affordable for black people, and help more black women, and like they have the resources that they can do that. So why aren't they doing it? But he's it's just a lot with a lot of this stuff, and
I think
I
this
already
is
see the big picture.
this is my personal opinion. I do get that the people that has the resources should put more to the community, but I think we have to fix the community first before we even give out resources. Because if we do that, they gonna know what to do with it because they're not ready for it. You know what I mean? We have to educate first. We have to
Yeah,
figure
I
out a
mean
way to get.
that's a
Yeah,
part of everything.
yeah.
You
But
know, being educated enough to know if somebody gives you $100,000 that you
you
don't
know,
go buy a
spending all
car
yeah,
and spend it on clothes.
those and
You know what
vacations.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Take that
but
money and flip it, and everything ain't flipping like drugs. You ain't gotta flip it like they flip drugs. There's other ways that you can flip $100,000.
but
You know
like
what
I
I'm
said
saying?
before, if you don't know, if you was never taught the right way, you're gonna do what you know. You're gonna do what you learned
Mm.
until you break that generational. What's it called? Generational. I can't think.
Curse.
What is it called? Yeah, generational curse. Until you decide, and it has somebody within has to decide. I'm breaking this generational curse, and change the way I think and the way I move. But it can't just be one person. It has to be a plethora, a
Yeah,
plethora
I mean, I
to
agree.
change that.
It doesn't start well, it can start with one. It can start with one person that will educate somebody enough to bring another person, and then another person, and then another person, and then another person, and so on and so forth. So it can start, it can happen, but people have to want to
Want
be
it.
educated.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta want to learn different. They gotta want to speak different. They gotta want to be
They're
different.
different.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So that
And
that's
we,
that's
yeah,
the problem that we
I think
have
it
with
probably
our
start
community.
once we see different, once we have not an idol, but something to look to say, okay, that's how I want to be. That's because that's why I think they set up the way the entertainment industry is now with all this twerking and all this being half naked, with the drugs, with the violence and all that stuff. There, this is what you see. If this is what I see on a daily basis, this is what I think I'm supposed to be. You know what
Mm.
I mean? And they know what they're doing. Michi says our own race hate our race of people. Build black owned banks, hospitals, etc. Lil Unique said it's like the people who evacuated New Orleans after Katrina. FEMA gave money and some were buying jewelry instead of things they needed. Exactly. Because they
Yeah,
didn't know any better.
because
No, who
that's what
taught them to
you
be better?
know. It's crazy, but you have a lot of people that do that. Like you
Mhm.
you give me $1 million right now, I'm gonna find a way to invest in something, even if it's Apple products or Coca-Cola or the cruise industry. There's like plenty of places where you can put your money into and make money, and then you say, you know what? I made this money. Now it's time to go buy a house. Let's take that money and flip that money again. The money that you earned, you take that and you flip it again, because you still at the same resources where you have the money.
But do you know
Make
there's a lot more people that don't know that? You
Yeah,
know what
I
I'm
know.
saying? There's a lot more of us that don't know that or is too scared to do that. It's easier to be fucked up than to be right. It's faster to be fucked up than to be right. You know what I'm saying? So people want to be the faster route. They want to have instant gratification. So they'll take the faster route, which is to rob, steal, take um
Take
um
somebody else's shit.
yeah, sell drugs, whatever. That's the easy route. Investments and stuff is a longer route. They ain't gonna try to do that. They want the shit right now.
Yeah,
That's
everything is a quick dollar.
Yeah, they want the quickness right now, and it's not about that. But hey, that's a lot of people that change. That's a lot of minds that needs to be changed, and that's hard. And that's why the entertainment industry is so powerful because let's be real, half most of our kids grow up with that. Watching TV, listening to music. That's what we do. So we're impressionable when we're children. So we go by what we see.
Yeah.
So if you see, like every time I go on Instagram, I see somebody fucking twerking. Like, what the fuck? Is that all we about? I'm saying? Okay, fine, have your
And now
fun
they
with all
have
that.
some damn twerk
Twerk
challenge where
contest.
they have. First of all,
What happened to reading Rainbow? Like, why we can't read a fucking book? You know what I'm saying? Who can read the most books in a week? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
no,
it's
I've
all
never
about
seen
twerking.
that challenge out there. I challenge
Ever.
them to do that, but they got a twerk challenge
Twerk.
and challenge and then the worst thing I seen was a parent walk into a daycare to pick up her child, and
And the kids in the
everybody in
daycare.
there was twerking.
How do you know that as a child unless you see it? You get what I'm saying? People don't realize. They think children aren't smart. Children are very smart.
Very
And
impressionable, and
children
the ones that are born nowadays are even smarter than we are.
what we were, yeah. And we soak children soak in a lot. You know what I'm saying? That they don't even realize what they're soaking in. And you realize when you become an adult why you are the way you are because of what you picked up as a child. You know what I'm saying? So if you always got your child in front of the TV, what you think they're gonna learn? What you think they're gonna know? If you're
Shit,
not
we
teaching
couldn't
your
turn the
children
TV
other
on
shit,
until after homework was done.
yeah. If
And
you're
then
not
by
teaching
7
your
o'clock, it had
children,
to go off. So how long did we watch TV?
and then if you not teaching your children stuff other than what the educational system is teaching them, what do you think they're gonna become? You gotta teach them more than what they give us. You can't just rely on what the school tells them to do. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Or what the school teaches them, because half that shit ain't true. Half that shit ain't true, and half that shit ain't our history. It ain't our history. We don't even know who we are. That's the scary part. Once we know who we are as a people, it's over.
Yeah. So
Yes, you're right, little unique. People don't want to be a part of the growing process. Michi says kids dancing to, yep, hands on your knees, hands on your knees. The fuck? How do you know about that?
and you know what's crazy? If I don't put on TikTok a lot
Uh-huh.
of these songs and stuff like that, I wouldn't even
Wouldn't
know it
know about
myself
it. Mm-hmm. And I'm a DJ. I
because
wouldn't
I
know
don't
about all
know.
this shit.
I'm like, what the hell is that?
But
I don't know, but
that's why I feel like Hollywood and entertainment. That's why I feel like it's all evil, all a setup because television tells a vision. It tells the vision that they want us to see and become. They mold us, and we don't even know that we're being molded.
yeah, you're absolutely right. I agree with you 125%.
I get 25% extra. Uh,
Yes, ma'am.
but you're
Because
right.
it's really difficult to to um to teach somebody something that's not willing to learn.
Yeah.
You
Or
know?
who don't, yeah, who don't want to learn and who don't want to be open. Yeah.
Yeah, you can because in order to be successful in life, you have to you have to
Yeah.
you have to be open, open to learning something new. You
Yes.
know, you can't stay trapped in your past because you were a drug dealer in your past and you decided to give up that life. You can't go back to it. You have to learn how to do something else with that.
You're right.
You're reading that?
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, I don't know. There
Okay.
was somebody that's offering promotional service.
Yeah, it looked
You
like
don't know we
Rishan.
promote ourselves.
See how they do us?
They
He trying to
they
deter us
listen,
from
trying to
the
take our
situation.
money, right?
Yeah, he trying to deter us from this conversation. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I think I did that by accident. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like it's really, 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 really hard to get people to change their own mindsets. It's just like
That's a
everybody
bias.
want to stay, they want to stay stuck, but then they wonder why they stay stuck.
You know what it is also? It's we have a world full of unhealed people. A lot of us that's unhealed that hasn't looked to be healed to deal with whatever trauma and issues they have. And like you said, who don't want to learn at all anything new, anything different, because being
It's out
different
of the
and being
norm.
new is scary. Yeah, it's
It's
scary.
out of
So
the
you know what
norm
to
for
do.
some.
Yeah.
They don't know. They a lot of people are afraid that it. A lot of people are not just afraid that it won't work. A lot of people are afraid that it will work.
Some people are afraid of success. Yeah.
Yes, they're afraid that if I do this, I like because you're so stuck and you're so used to being
Yeah,
in a
that way.
position where you don't know any better.
Yeah.
So
You don't know the other side of
in
that.
order to do better, you have to know better.
Yep.
There's
But you
always
know
two
what?
sides to a story.
Mm-hmm. What you said was good. How you said it, because okay, it's like being in a bad relationship. You've been in an abusive relationship for years. That's all you know. That's all you know is that it's okay to be loved like this. It's okay to be hit. It's okay to be that. And then you get out of it and you find somebody who actually treats you well. You don't know how to deal with that because you're so
Hmm.
used to what you've been through. You going through that from day to day to day. That when you see something good, you don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Don't know how to deal with it. You don't know how to handle it. And that's the thing with success. If all you see day to day is violence and failure and heartache and pain, when you go somewhere else and see that you could be fruitful, you don't know how to deal with that.
But
Don't know how
it's
to deal with
just
that.
it all goes back to what I said. You have to be open to change. Because if you've been through heartache all your life, you've been through people beating you up and tearing you down and this, that, and the third, and you tired of that, then you gotta want to change.
Change it. No
Because
matter
you
how
have
scary it is.
nobody can change it but you.
Yep.
Yes, it might be hard to get past some things, but everybody's test is their testimony. You know what I'm
Amen.
saying? You can, or everybody can have a better life that wants a better
Right.
life. You don't
Everybody.
have to stay in the same rut because your job is not paying you what you what you need to survive. Then you get another job.
Mm-hmm.
Work two jobs. If you got to work two, three, I know people that work two and three jobs to make ends meet
And I know
so that
people
they
who is
can have.
massive. I know people who is mass successful that never graduated high school. So
Absolutely. So
it's
it
that
does
too.
that has nothing to do with it. It's not the education from a book, it's education from your brain. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? You got to
Mm-hmm.
think what it is that you want in life and you got to go out there and fight for it. Get by any means necessary. Don't kill nobody to do it.
Yeah,
But if
but
you
you
got
could
to
do
work
it.
three jobs to get successful and who knows, like somebody see that hard work that you doing and know that you might want to open up a business or something like whatever it is, you can get help.
And
If
that's
you can't
another
get
thing.
help, you can get somebody to tell you what they did to be successful, and you might try it that way and be successful.
And that's another thing. A lot of times when a person is successful, becomes successful, for some reason they don't want to tell how they became that. Like, I don't know if it's because they think it's a competition or something. Like if
And
I
that's
if I
another
become
thing.
successful, I'm gonna come back to you and be like, yo, D, this is what I
That's
did.
what I
Da,
just
da,
said.
da.
this is what
Why
I
you always
did.
hold it as a
You should
secret?
try it and you can do it. But and that's the thing with our people too, because you can see somebody, like one day I seen somebody, I think they had on a nice jacket or sweater or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, that's nice. Thank you. Where did you get that from? I don't remember. You remember where you got that from. You
Like
just
you the
don't
only
want
one
people
with
to
that
have
sweater.
them.
Yeah. Because they don't
And
want
that's
you
what
to
people
have
do.
it. Yeah. Like
I
because if
remember
I get it, I will be better than you. That's what people are afraid of.
I remember a while ago. I'm not gonna do names here because that's not what I'm gonna do. But I remember it was a friend of a friend's. Let's say it was a friend of a friend's, and
Uh-huh.
they had on a nice fur coat, and I was like, "Oh, that's a nice fur coat." One day I'm gonna get one, and they said to me that I would never be able to afford one,
Mm.
and I was like, "Wow." I was insulted.
Mm.
Moving fast forward till today, I do have one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how I got it is how I got it, but it's mine. It's paid
Uh-huh.
for. So I was like, wow, but I never really, like, I did hold it against that person for a little while,
Mm-hmm.
but I released it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't tell me I if
What you're
I work
capable of.
hard enough to do. Absolutely, I'm capable of being the president of the United States of America if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll do a better job than the one that we have and the one that we might get. So with that being said, yeah, it's just crazy how our people are so stuck and stubborn,
It's
you
not
know.
crazy, it's reality.
Yeah,
Like I
well, it's
said, it was
crazy
set up that
reality.
way. But now we gotta all band together, get the strength to break that cycle.
Well, you know what? I think I spoke about this before that I had went to this. It was called 100 Hispanic Women,
Uh-huh.
and I went to it was an organization for Latin women.
Uh-huh.
So I said to myself that I was in. Don't be yawning. You should have went to sleep last night.
I went to
Um,
sleep but late. Go ahead.
I said that I was going to try to get. If I couldn't get 100, maybe I can get 25 or even 50 of my black sisters to start this organization with me so that we can build for not just our future but our family's future as well. It
Mm-hmm.
starts off with a little thing like having a meeting
Mm-hmm.
and everybody voicing their opinion on what they want to do and how they want this organization to be, and starting with that, and then going out there and getting sponsorship and
Mm-hmm.
having cook-offs and bake-offs and selling t-shirts or whatever to build up the foundation. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are doing it, but when it comes to us, we're not doing it because this person don't trust that person and this person
Don't
is
like
out
this
there,
person.
you know
Yeah.
and
It's
that's
always
what the
something.
problem that's the problem that we have, that we cannot. And I think, me personally, I think, because they say women are the hardest people to get along, I think if we can show the men that we can get along, then more of them would get along. They have their own little 100 black men and stuff, like they have that and stuff like that. But what do they have for black and brown women? I mean, let's just say black women for now, because the brown ones, they have their organization. The Latin people or the Hispanics or whatever you want to call them, they have an organization and they have resources that they only give out to the Hispanic people. They don't give out to the black people. So we
Mhm.
need to build a foundation where we can go to and do. I know a lot of the fraternities and the sorors and them there. I know they have their thing that they do too. But what about the everyday black women? What do we have? Who do we have to go to? You know what I'm saying? So I think, with this platform, and to find people that are really serious and interested in doing something to make a difference for our culture and for our community, I think this is the platform to use for that, you know. And it doesn't mean that you have to give us your money. It's not about money that you're giving us. It's about supporting the cause. You have so many people that want you to support whatever they doing, but when it comes to you doing something, they don't
They
never
don't
want to
want to be
support
there.
it. So
Hmm.
how does it start? How does it start? It starts with me asking for support, you giving it. You're needing support, me giving it. You know what I'm saying? So, in order for us to make a difference, we have to learn how to support one another, whether it's be good or bad, whatever it is. Like, if you're going through some tough time and you need somebody to talk to, then your sister or whoever you want to call, she should be able to talk to you about anything without you judging her.
To
If
judge
she
it, yeah.
needs a glass of wine, go over there and drink a glass of wine with her if that's what she drink. Y'all talk about it. And we so busy trying to outbeat one another with material things that we can't see the bigger picture. And I
Hmm.
think if we and especially if, well, I don't have any kids or grandkids, but I have nieces and nephews, and my nieces, are younger. I have younger nieces, and anybody that have grandkids, granddaughters, or you should always want better than what we had for our next generation.
Hmm.
Teach them what we didn't know, and that's how to get along. Because you
Hmm.
remember when you was back in the days, you was out in the street because you had on a nice outfit. Susie up the street didn't like your outfit because she wanted it and she couldn't afford it, so she fought you and messed your outfit up. We have to teach our kids that that's not the way to go. The fighting and all of that stuff. Don't fight with your hands, fight with your brain.
I forgot what these groups was called back then, but they used to have girls. The girls had one side, boys had one side. They taught them how to, how to be a good man, a good woman. How to dress and act like a lady, and how a lady's supposed to present herself. I forgot what it's called. We
I
need
don't
that
know
back
either,
again.
but we need to start with the women.
Kids, yeah.
You know why? Because I see some of these young girls, they out
Oh,
here,
we
all their
was.
butt is showing, they breasts is out, I mean,
It's very
it's not
sexualized.
looking good for the community or the culture.
Yeah.
So if we start off with our women trying to get like to educate them, to do better or want better, instead
Etiquette
of
class.
trying to
Yeah, that's
find the
what it's
guy
called.
with the most money or trying to find the guy with the nicest car and all of that stuff, that's all materialistic stuff. When that's gone, what do you have? What do you have to fall back on once all of that is gone?
And what do you have to offer? Anybody could twerk, anybody could fuck, anybody could do whatever. What do you have to offer? And one thing women always say, I need a man to be this, be that, be that. But what do you have to offer that man? That you
Besides some coochie and a
leave
good
some
meal that you
coochie and
might know
some
how to
cook.
cook.
Yeah. What else can you offer him? If that's what you want this high standard guy. But what about you? You forget about that. And why it's always about what that you could get.
Yeah,
Why he
because
can't get some. You know what I'm saying?
they're trained by a generation of people that that's what they did. You know.
It's called etiquette class. Michelle T told me it's etiquette. We need
Oh
to
yeah,
we need to teach that from the gate,
yeah.
from the little.
Remember they did that on Love and Hip Hop when they did Cardi
Yeah.
B. Remember they took her with Tara took her.
Mhm. But I think it needs to
I don't
be
know how
done
much
with
it
the
worked,
little
but
kids. Yeah, I think it needs to be done with little kids. Once you get to a certain age, that's it. It's over. But
yeah,
I think it needs to start with little kids with the separate etiquette, and then they come together to learn how to socialize with each other. That's the
yeah.
problem. We don't know how to socialize with one another. We don't know what good, what respect looks like. what good love looks like. We don't know what that looks like. So we need to teach it from the gate. And then they'll be able to grow up with that.
Yeah, especially those parents, single parents, whether you are a single father or a single mother, you have to teach your kids better,
Mm-hmm.
and then they won't be out here robbing and stealing and taking other people's stuff. You see on the news, this, I think the kid was either 15, 16 years old. This lady was walking up the train steps, not the train step, the church steps. He cold clocked her and knocked her all the way down. She was in ICU. Snatched her pocketbook and drove off with her car.
And they've been
15 years
doing that.
old.
Oh, yep, they've been doing that a lot too.
15 years old. What is a 15-year-old doing something like that for?
Mm-hmm.
To an elderly. Remember back in the days, you couldn't disrespect the elderly,
At all.
and
You
now
couldn't
they're
even get
putting
loud
hands on
around
them.
them. You couldn't even get loud around the elderly.
They putting hands. They knocked the lady out. She had some kind of brain injury, was in ICU for a while. So that's why I say, I'm sorry. I'm not going to point the blame all the time, but in some instance that you have to parent your kid. The problem with some of these parents is they're not parenting their kids.
They
They're
want to be
being
your
friends
friend.
with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So if you friends with your kid, who's the parent? Who's that kid going to respect?
And then they
That
expect the
doesn't have
teachers to
nobody
do
because
it.
you the friend.
And they expect the teachers to do it. And they
Yeah,
get
but
mad
you
if
can't.
the teacher does it. Then they get mad. Then they want to fight the teacher. So it's like it's crazy. It's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
sad.
This world is crazy.
It's sad, and
Mm-hmm.
unless we the people stand up and stand strong and do something about it, it's gonna get worse.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be talking. We'll have this podcast next year and be talking about the same shit.
Same thing.
Another
Mm-hmm.
16-year-old boy destroyed his life by doing X, Y, and Z. It
Michelle
doesn't should
said,
happen.
peer classes at school, positive experiences and educational relationships. Yep.
Yeah, it's just sad, but anyway, on a on a more civilized note, we got an
You got some
event
happy
coming up.
topics?
We got an event coming up. Gotta
Yes.
tell them about the event.
We got a sneaker ball, Kings and Queens sneaker ball Gemini Fair coming up on June 8th, Saturday from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. in Midtown Manhattan on 39th Street, West 39th Street on the 10th floor. We have we're able to see the Empire State Building. It's a beautiful event hall. We're gonna have a cash bar. You can get tickets on Eventbrite, Creative Streamline's second annual event. Um, Come out as formal attire and put on your best sneakers. And the person with the best overall outfit would get a prize. Also, when
Is
you
it a cash prize or just a prize?
they gonna find out when they get there.
No, I need to find out now because
It's a surprise.
I'm gonna either go hard or go home without the
Yeah,
prize.
exactly. And everybody who purchases the tickets is put in the running to win a flat screen TV. Also, included with the tickets when you purchase on Eventbrite, or you could contact one of us to um pay. We could meet up with you to pay. You get the entry, you get catered food, we have a photographer, we have a photo booth, um got music by the CTV All Stars. That's myself, DJ K Nikki, and DJ E Bookie, and CEO Sean Quest, who is the founder and owner of Creative Stream Live. Please download the app, Creative Stream Live app, expeditiously. What I say, immediately. Download the app and support us and watch us go live damn near every day on live stream and on
Absolutely,
the
right?
radio. Hmm?
I said, yeah, every day.
Yeah, every day.
There's something popping on every day. And
Yes,
you can
you
also
can.
check out.
I was
You
answering a
can
question, but
also
go ahead.
you can also check out Let's Be Clear radio show on the Crave Seems Live app as well,
On
because
Saturday.
we're there. We're trying to get back to our every Saturday thing.
Yep.
But, we're gonna probably bring in some guests in and stuff like that to talk with us and see whatever the hell they got to do too, because we all in here together. We all in this struggle for life together. If we can uplift, encourage, and give you any type of information that you need to feed your life with, then we're gonna do that for you.
Okay,
It's
answer.
not all about, huh?
I want to answer this question. Yes, you could purchase a ticket for the sneaker ball, even if you can't come to the event. We appreciate that a lot.
Support,
And if
support,
you
support.
purchase the ticket and you're not able to come, you still in the running to win a flat screen TV. So even if you just want to support and buy the ticket and you can't come, you still get a chance to win a flat screen TV. So thank you for support,
Or
Mr.
you can give me the flat screen TV. You can give it to me. I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah. So come through.
Come through. Have a good time. We gonna be there. The
All
whole
right.
Creative Streams Live family will be in the
Yes.
building.
So all my New York, New Jersey, everybody in tri-state area, come through. It's in Midtown Manhattan, B. We need y'all out there.
Absolutely.
And it's a
So
Gemini affair. So we know you're gonna be bugged out. It's gonna be beautiful.
Gemini's,
You roll your eyes all you want to. Geminis are the best.
Aquarius. You can't
Y'all
live
lie.
without us. Y'all be
Y'all
trying
lie.
to, but you can't. You can't.
Same here.
Y'all can't live without us. And it's
You'll never forget
okay.
us. Gemini, never forget us. You stay in
Yeah.
love forever.
Oh yeah. Whatever. What else you want to talk about today?
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about something nice because we've been talking real hard lately. We've
Yeah,
been real
well,
intense.
yeah, because life is lifing right now, and we trying to get out the struggle. We trying
Yeah,
to work our way out the struggle because there's a lot. It's a lot going on. I mean, there's a lot going on that we didn't even talk
you
about,
know about. Yes, a lot.
and there's a lot that we don't even know about. Like you said,
Exactly.
we ain't talk about some of the shit that's going on. But
Yep.
yeah,
I got a question that's off topic. That's a just a regular question about relationships. Um, if you're not married, engaged, living together, stuff, y'all together. It's exclusive, right? Y'all said we exclusive, but it's not marriage or anything like that. Is it cheating if you still date other people?
no,
Why is that?
because you're not married.
So it's okay to see other people. Should you be honest
I
about
mean,
it?
first of all, I think you should absolutely be honest about it because, first of all, I mean, okay, I'm gonna say it all depends on how long y'all been in a relationship. Because I'm the 5-year person. I feel that if y'all was in a relationship, and then sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. But that's just my opinion. So don't judge me on my opinion. But I think that if you're in a relationship with a person longer than 5 years and that person does not ask you to marry them, then you wasted 5 years of your life that you could have been married to somebody else.
Hmm.
That's the first thing. The second thing is, unless you're married, if you're not married, how's it considered cheating?
Hmm.
What rules are you breaking? You're not breaking any laws of marriage. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
If a man wants to be with a woman that he loves, he's going to make every effort to make that his wife, not his girlfriend for 5 years, for 6 years, for 7 years, because they say within the first year of being in a relationship whether it's going to work or not. Because if you can get past the toughest times, then everything else is going to be a breeze, and that's the first year of any relationship. That's the toughest
mhm.
times. But you shouldn't be with a man for 20,000 years and all you is his girlfriend.
What about vice versa?
It doesn't make a difference. We talking general. That's a general question. So that was your general answer.
Yeah.
But I'm only saying man because I wouldn't be with no woman.
Michelle T said dating exclusively is single.
Yes, I agree. If you, even if there's no like but I wouldn't agree to something like that. I'm not gonna agree to, because first of all, we're too old to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Is either you're gonna be my husband, if that's what you see in our future, then that's what we need to be talking about. But if you're not gonna be my husband in the future, then why am I leaving the door closed for somebody who might?
Yeah.
Because you can be with somebody for 10 years
It
and
never.
then
Yeah.
y'all break up, and that's 10 years of your life down the drain. You want to kill a motherfucker for wasting your time, whether it
But
be a
what
male or female.
but what if you got into the relationship and y'all had that conversation where I do see you as my husband, I do see you as your wife, and you're working towards it, but it just didn't work out.
Then you
You
wasted
took
your
advantage.
time.
How you waste your time from an experience?
All
Because
right,
you
so
gotta
then
find
why
out.
so then why would you be in a relationship that long with somebody that y'all don't see each other being together for the rest of your life?
That's what I just said. If we saw each other being together for the rest of our lives, we see that. I want to be married to you. You want to be married to me. We try to work towards it. But something down the line happened and it didn't work out. How is that a waste?
But then my thing is like that's still a waste of time, because what happened? What happened that was so detrimental to the relationship that y'all could never no longer see each other? I mean, what would be the reason for the breakup?
Could be
Just because
cheating.
you
It
got
could be
tired of
something.
me? Then you should have got tired of me 4 years ago.
Lil Unique said you're single until you're married, even if you are exclusive. But if you're gonna be exclusive, then act accordingly. Michelle said you should both agree to date exclusively. She said commit. What's that? Commit to a date to marry each other. She said make a date to marry each other if that's what you are looking to do.
Yeah, well, who's going to agree to that too? Because half the time when you meet somebody, you don't even know if you like them until after a couple of dates, right? And then
Uh-huh.
so far and so forth, and then y'all start getting to know each other better, and then it goes
But it's a
from
process.
6 months to a year. But I'm just saying, what I'm saying is, I don't think me personally do not think anything past 5 years is going to happen.
Okay.
That's just me. Now, don't get me wrong. I've known people that have dated and was in exclusive relationship for years and got married.
Michelle
And
said
then
it.
I know,
Yeah.
and then I know some people that's been together for 20 years, 21 years, and is not married. You cannot call somebody that you've been with 21 years your husband if y'all not married, because New York City is not a common law state. If
Michelle
that
said
motherfucker die, he gonna die. You ain't getting none of the insurance money.
Michelle said you can be with someone exclusively for more than 5 years and eventually get married, then divorce after 6 years together. That's
That
true.
part too.
So how
Yes.
do you know? How do you know
Yeah.
that's your
You
person?
don't. You don't know. You don't know. It's like you said. You have to take a chance, and sometimes you can be rolling dice. Right? It might work and it might not work, but it's still to me a waste of time, because it all depends to me on the breakup. What was the reason for the breakup?
So that
Because
every
if the breakup was based on cheating, who cheated? Whoever cheated was the one who made that relationship go that way. Because you can't be finances, because it's when you live with somebody. Okay, if you're not living with them, you don't give a shit about their finances. How you pay your rent is how you pay your rent. Unless we agree that we gonna help each other, but then why would we help each other? And your rent is this much, and my rent is that much, and we both living in two separate places. If we're going to be together with the expectations on being a couple or married couple, then let's move in together. We can save that money and be together like that. But if you're not going to move in together, then you're single.
So
You're single.
does that mean past relationships was all a waste?
Um, I'm not gonna say it was a waste if you didn't learn anything about it. If you didn't
Mm.
learn, nothing is a waste if you learned something out of it. If you got something out of it, if you learned, like there's some women that, they make sure they cook every time that man wants a hot meal. They make sure he get fucked every time he needs to get fucked. They make
You
sure
still
they
not
are
happy. Yeah.
playing the wife's role,
Mm-hmm.
but not getting the wife's benefits. Because then at the end of the day, you know what? When he ready to move on to Sally, he gonna move on to Sally, and all that you have done for him is down the drain. So that teaches us to say, you know what? I'm gonna do this a little different. Why don't we both cook? Why don't we both do these things together? That way you don't feel like you was a sucker.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you can feel like you a sucker, especially when you broke up with old boy 2 months ago, and old boy walking down the street with Sally now.
Lil Unique said, love is always a risk, so take calculated risks. Michi said, infidelity is one of the reasons. Domestic violence is another reason relationships end. Lil Unique
Absolutely.
said, not at all. You learn something from every situation. CEO Sean Quest got the face. And that's it.
What? Yeah, I mean, that's just me. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that nobody else has the right to their opinion, but I just think that, unless you like after you've been together for a year and y'all know that, okay, well, maybe one day we're going to get married. Like the girl said, let's set the date for the marriage. Let's start this now. If we're not going to get married for the next 3-4 years, then let's pick a date. January 28th, 2027. This is when we're going to get married. So let's start building towards that. And if it doesn't happen, then it wasn't meant to happen. But it's
So
still, to me, like you're still living your life as a single person until you get married.
should that conversation be around the first or second date? Like, what are
No,
you
it shouldn't.
looking for?
That's too early because you don't even know if you like that motherfucker.
So the second date, to say you like
No,
this motherfucker. You
no,
let
I
them know, what are you
you
looking
can't
for in a
listen.
relationship? I'm looking to eventually get married.
Well,
Then they
if
can
that's the
figure out, you know
conversation you
what?
want
I
to,
don't think we should go to a third date because that's
okay,
not
then
what I'm
that's
looking for.
fine too. But I don't think that that should be a conversation on the first or second date. Because first of all, if you on the first, you did, it takes maybe 6-7 months to even know a person, and then you still don't know
Still
them.
don't know them. Yeah.
You still don't know them. But then for you to like somebody, you got to date them more than once or twice to even know if you like them. Because like we can go out on a date and the date went smooth sailing. Everything was good. We
You
did.
paying for it?
It don't matter. Yeah, he's paying for it, not me.
Oh, you said we was going on a date. I was wondering if you was
No,
paying for
no, I'm
it.
not
Yeah.
paying. No,
Oh,
he paid for. Let him pay for everything if he want to pay for it. Because there are some men that like to pay. And then there's those broke motherfuckers that be like, yo, you got half. No, you take, if a man takes a woman out on a date, I think he should pay for it. Now, if a woman says, you want to have dinner or whatever, and he chooses to pay, then you want to pay half of it because you inviting him out, but you don't have to pay all of it. That's just my personal opinion. But however, so you made me forget my answer. Oh,
rewind it. Oh,
no, I got it. So,
Uh-huh.
you go, the first date is gravy. It's real good. Everything is good. The sparks are flying. The second date, not so good. The third date, he chewing with his mouth open. You don't like that. That's a pet peeve of yours. Do you want to spend the rest of your life with a man that's chewing with
Doing it
his
with a
mouth open?
mouth open either.
Do you want to do that? Or do you want
It depends on
a
what he's
man?
eating.
Do you want a man that don't know how to eat when he's sitting at the table?
It depends on what he's eating.
Well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about you sitting at the table and this
Is he
motherfucker picking
snacking?
in his teeth. Like there's something that you might not like on the
Uh-huh.
third date. So why should I have a conversation with you about my future if I don't see you in my future? I have to see you in my future first before we have that conversation.
Michi
Gotta
said Michi said many may not want any children, married with or not, or marry someone that has children from a previous relationship.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Some people, well, women that are still in their childbearing years, they might not want to have a man that has other, kids outside of their relationship because they don't want to deal with baby mama drama. And then you
Yeah,
have some men that won't date a woman that has kids,
yeah,
but then they don't want no kids.
yeah. If you date somebody with kids, is there a time limit where you should meet the child?
I personally think that if y'all pass the 1 year mark where y'all know that y'all still rocking past a year, then why not meet the kids?
If you know that's
Hey,
the
why
person
not
that
meet the
you want to be
parents?
with. Yeah,
Yeah, if you know that you want to be with this person, because I don't believe in rushing anything,
yeah.
because you bring kids are very impressionist. You can
Sensitive.
get a
Yeah.
kid to fall in love with you and they like you and everything like that. And then y'all break up, and the kid, you broke up with not just me, but you broke up
Everybody.
with my
Yeah.
kid too.
Yeah.
So if you go past a year and y'all know that y'all gonna be in a relationship and everything is solid, and y'all have y'all ups and downs and y'all ins and outs, but y'all still making it make, then why not after a year? I
Should you
think that's
still
applicable enough time.
should you still work on the relationship if the kids or the parents or the family don't like you? Don't like
Well,
the
they
other
don't have to
person?
live with you. Okay, if you guys have potentials of being in a relationship and y'all feel y'all gonna get married, you know how many people don't get married to the people they love and really in love with because the parent or somebody or the baby mama drama or the
Don't like
kids
them.
don't like, but they don't rule your life. So if you meet somebody and you vibing with them on that same level that you want to vibe, and you like them or whatever, it's not for your family, it's not for your kids, it's not for anybody to dictate who you get to spend the rest of your life with. They ain't got to live in your life. Not saying you got to cut them off, but if I got married to someone tomorrow and my family didn't like them, then y'all don't have to come around him. I'll see y'all by myself.
But
But
if your
just know
spouse
this is
is
his
close,
house.
but if your spouses and his children are close, or the spouse and his mother and father is close,
That
wouldn't that
that
mess up
has
your relationship in a way?
Listen, all you can it shouldn't well, I've known people that it did mess up their relationships because of that, but you miss out on the love of your life because of your kids. You can't get the same thing from your kids that you're going to get from your mate
Your parents,
or
yeah.
from your parents or your
Um,
siblings or from anybody. So
yeah.
you got to have that conversation with them, because here's the thing. I saw a movie on Tubi. I'm a Tubi movie junkie.
Uh-huh.
This man, he lost his wife. His wife was his everything, right? And he lost his wife. And when he lost his wife, he had a daughter. So the daughter was, they were already living together. His mother came to live with them, and the wife had a brother that was living with them. So he met somebody new, but she didn't like the kids, and the
Oh.
kids didn't like her neither. And they kept telling him that there was something wrong with her, that there's something wrong with her. And the mother, she wound up killing his mother because the mother was on to her. So with that being said, if your spouse and your family don't get along, I say you have that conversation with your spouse or your parents or your kids or whatever, to let them know, if you're going to come and be in my world, in my house, know that my wife is there. She's not going anywhere. You don't have to like her, but you have to respect her. It's all about respect, because you cannot have somebody in your house disrespecting your spouse. Period. Or they don't have to come there.
Yeah. CEO Sean Quest said, when kids involved, there is no time limit. The kids make that timetable. Circumstances are sometimes a factor.
Well, it all depends. How old are these kids? Are they babies? Where they are their age where they understand where they understand that mommy and daddy is not together anymore, and daddy and mommy both moved on with their lives? If they're old enough to have that conversation, then you should have that conversation with them.
Mm,
So no, it doesn't have to be. Okay, it doesn't have to be a year into your relationship. It can be when your kids is old enough to have that conversation with, because kids ain't stupid. They know if mommy and daddy is not together,
mm-hmm,
and mommy got Bo over and dad got Jill over. Jill is not your auntie. Bo ain't your uncle.
mm-hmm.
When
CEO
they
Sean
old
Quest,
enough.
he says, called Stepmother, written by the B2K manager. He's not right in the head. Oh, he's talking about the movie. Um, Life is not a to-be movie. Life is real.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That was a real movie. That shit that happens in real life. Those are based on true stories. Well, the ones that I watch is loosely based. But yeah, it
Was the
doesn't.
movie, sorry, Quest, was the movie called Stepmother? Because I'm going to check it out. That's what you saying? Okay. Was it called Stepmother? See?
No, it was something else. It
Something
wasn't
else?
step.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll text it to you when we get
Well,
off
you
live.
know? Okay.
Yeah, because it's probably still in my feed. But yeah, no, I get that. But like I said, when the kids are old enough to understand, and some kids are smarter than others, so it doesn't take until they're 21 years old to know that mommy and daddy was not together all of this time. But
Mhm,
when they're older, if you got little kids, like if they I'll say 10 and under, or maybe 16 and under, then if they're over 16 years old, then they're old enough to have that conversation where they know mommy and daddy's not together. That's just my personal opinion. So do not sue me because I don't have any money. And, yeah, so that's just the way I feel. That's what I'm saying. So what can we say? But yeah, but you have some people that will ride it till the Milky Way. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, maybe I might be right and maybe I might be wrong. But my thing is, if your kids is old enough to know that mommy and daddy is not together, then what are you hiding from them?
mhm.
What
CEO
are
Sean Quest said, again, circumstances are different. My kid have autism, so I am even more protective of them around family.
okay? So, well, like even with kids that have autism or have any other kind of whatever, if you present it to them in a manner where they will understand, they will understand. And there's plenty of different types of autism, so we're not gonna get deep into that. But it's all how you present it to them to make them understand, because they're smart too. You know what
So
I'm saying?
it's best to have the conversation first before you even have a relationship. Have the conversation with your kids before
Yeah, I
even,
mean that.
yeah,
I
before
mean, like
even
I said,
presenting them with
when
somebody.
when your kids are a certain age where you can talk to them and they will understand, that's when you should have the conversation. And some in certain circumstances that, it might take kids a little bit more to understand. But I think if you present it to them, there is a way that you can work around that.
Mm. Okay.
Period.
Message. Yeah, but 2 o'clock.
All right. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll always appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all
Always.
get your tickets for the sneaker ball. It's gonna be a stone gas, okay? And make sure y'all tune in next week. We'll be right back.
Yes, we
It's
will.
gonna go, it's gonna go by so fast, y'all gonna think we was just on.
Right?
Make sure y'all tune in every Saturday from 12 to 2. We will be back here next week, as I said just a few minutes ago. So I'm just repeating myself all over again. So make sure you guys tune in, tune in, tune in. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
guys again for watching, and we out.
Peace.